What's up, everybody? It's your boy Dave Mo, Team Us 100%. First and foremost, I hope this video finds you in great health and wealth. If you don't mind, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, hit the thumbs up. Man, we're trying to see 1 million subscribers. I know it sounds crazy every time I say it. I feel like an idiot, but you know what I mean? It is what it is. So this video here is really geared towards my dealers that are looking to get reps. So it's, 2022, it's looking kind of rough out there. The repos are up. Car dealers are going out of business. There's not a lot of money out here. All kinds of stuff is going on in this world, okay? But you see an opportunity where you can make some side money. And quite frankly, it's scary. Let's just say the elephant in the room, let's talk about it. The elephant in the room is you're liable for whoever you allow to use your license, okay? If they go out, and if you give them a dealer tag, even more. So I would never, personally, if I had a dealership, I would never ever give someone my dealer tags. I would keep one locked up in the safe for test drives. Of course, I'd have one, so when I'm here, there would be 2 here. Or maybe I would get two for the shop that would be locked up in the safe. That people can test drive their cars. But I would never give someone a dealer tag, quite frankly, to take home with them. I wouldn't do it. I would make all my dealer reps have to have their cars transported. What I'm trying to do by that is I would be cutting down my risk, right? So that's first and foremost. So you have to understand that you're going to be running that risk, okay? If you're going to do the dealer tag thing. Number 2. I wouldn't do it unless I had, I'd probably say something in the neighborhood of $100 grand. Whether it's cash, liquid, or on a floor plan, I wouldn't do it unless I had $100 grand. Now, I do know here at this dealership, we have a $10,000 cap as to what people can buy. Actually, at Manheim. We chose Manheim because Manheim is the biggest car auction and we didn't want to burn that bridge. This is pre-ACV. I'm not saying ACV is bigger. I'm just saying that at this time we were using Manheim exclusively to buy cars. So we put a $10,000 limit on there. How that works, I don't really know, to be quite honest with you, because I had purchased cars with that limit well above. Mainly because while you're at the auction bidding, you're just a bidder. Yeah, you have a number, but they're not punching your number in every single time someone places a bid, right? They're only putting your number in at the end when you're the high bidder. That's it. So I don't know if having that $10,000 number means that we're not liable for it because you're not supposed to let us go above $10,000, or what that means exactly. I don't know. What I do know is if someone's at the auction and they bid $50,000 on a car, and then just walk away, right? Like they were going to sell this other car. It was sold, money in the bank, but not in the hand. They went out and bought this car. They went home, and the buyer who came and said that they were in love with the car, they just had to do this, and they'll be back tomorrow. Please don't sell it. They ghosted them, right? So now you're stuck, okay? Straight up and down, you're stuck with that. You got to pay that $50,000 car. Whether or not you want it, you have to pay for it, all right? Or they'll attack your surety bond. So the reason why I say to have that amount of money in there is you can pay it. All right, so you're not in trouble now with the auction. That's number 1. Number 2, if you don't want to take the car because you don't sell cars like that or it's just too much, whatever the situation might be, you can now run it back through the auction. Even if you take a loss on that car, it's not that big of a deal versus losing your license or letting someone attack your surety bond. All right. So that's a risk right there as well. But that's kind of how you can insulate yourself from that. And if that does happen, make sure it's in your contract that if you don't pay for a car, every car you have at the dealership, you forfeit. You forfeit everything. Everything you've done, everything you've accomplished is gone. It's out the window. You risked the dealer's license. You risk that, therefore you automatically lose everything. So you have 10 cars in a lot, you didn't pay for a car, it's over, it's a wrap. Don't even come here looking for your cars. It's over. You have now broken the contract, all right? And then of course, have an attorney draw up a contract for you, right? Because you need to protect yourself. You own the dealership. You have all the liability, all right? So that's another thing that can happen. Another thing that you want to think about is this. If you're going to give the rep access to sell cars and like actually do the paperwork themselves, you really, really, really want to be wary of who you let do that, because you'll find that most of the people, and I recommend people do this, most of the people coming from being street, flipsters to being trying to be car dealers. So when that happens, they're trying to, they're used to doing it this way where they just take the cash. So they might be outside talking to the customer like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. I'll just write it up for $1,000. So again, now what you're doing is that's tax fraud. So now it looks like, again, you're liable. You're not collecting the proper sales tax. You're screwing people over. Let's just say that person sold a $5,000 car for $1,500. Something happens to that $5,000 car. Now that customer wants to complain to whatever state regulates, whatever it's called that regulates your stuff. Now, 1, 2, 3 times, it's like, wait a second, you have sold cars for not the correct amount. You have not collected the correct sales tax. That's another liability, right? So you always want to keep an eye on that. For me personally, I have my computers, I think I have Parallels on it because I use a Mac. So I can go at the end of the night and I can and again, this is work, guys. I can go and I can see who sold what and for what price. So then I can cross-reference that vehicle with what it was purchased for at the auction. If it was purchased for if it was sold for less than it was purchased for, then it's a wrap. I'm not even dealing with that. Like, you're out. There are circumstances that's allowed, but we would know about it. Oh, Joe Schmo bought a truck and it had a bad motor. He's just gonna dump it to anybody. Okay, that makes sense. Just sell it, whatever. Don't go under scrap. He sold it for $1,000. He took a $2,000 loss, whatever. Okay, great. Another thing that they did was they did title only, right? So if you're selling a car that's got a blown motor and you register the car and give a tag to it, well, if it's got a blown motor, it can't be on the road. Again, these are things that you want to be aware of and be watching, okay? Again, the liability is completely on you. It almost sounds like I'm telling you not to do it, and that's not the case at all. It's an individual decision you have to make. With that being said, what are the upsides? Well, you charge a monthly fee. So let's just say you charge $500 a month. Okay, your rent is $3,000. So your rent's $5,000. You charge $500 a month. All right, you got 10 guys. No, you have 5 guys or 5 reps. I hate saying guys because some of the best car sellers I've met have been women. So you have 5 individuals paying you $500 each a month. That's $2,500. That's half of your rent. That's half. Let's just say $5,000 is your expenses. That's half of your expenses. Okay. Now you only want to keep 5, so that means you're only going to keep the cream of the crop. Every one of those 5 sell 3 cars a piece a month. All right. So that's 15 cars being sold a month, and you're charging $200 dealer fee per car. So 15 times your 200 is now $3,000, right? Yes. So that's $3,000. Add that to your $2,500, you're in the positive $500. Are you risking your license? Yes, you absolutely are. But now you're not going out of business, okay? Because now you're bringing in an extra $500. It means all the cars that you sell, that's all gravy on top, baby. That's all gravy. So I'm watching this guy unload a car out there. It's all gravy for you. So it's you know what I mean? But it's definitely something that, hit me up. If you're thinking about it, drop me a line, my email, demoflips@gmail.com, and I'll break it down for you. I really don't care. You know what I mean? Like, my wins are your wins are my wins. So to me, it's a win, right? I enjoy what we do. And it's nice having all the bills paid. I know a guy, when I originally got started, he had high 30s, let's just say 40s, and he was charging $500 a month. It was $499, and he was charging back then $400 a car. I mean, he was making stupid amounts of money without even selling cars. And to be honest with you, he had a repping company, not a dealership. He had a dealer's license and everything like that, but really and truly, he only had it because he wanted the ability to have reps. And it's funny, I was actually one of his reps, and the name went from one name, and the next day I went to the auction. I said I was with this particular dealership. They're like, no, you're not. You're with this dealership, and they just added an S to it. Say it went from 5-star auto sales. It went from 5-star to 5 stars auto sales, and that was it. So he rented 2 warehouses right next to each other, and the one warehouse is where he had all the reps, right? And the other warehouse already had a dealer's license set up, and everything was going, and he was paying rent, and he was paying for the insurance and everything else. And when this dealership, when something happened to it, he simply went out of business over there and just moved all the reps that was still good from this one to that one. I'm sure he had to deal with the landlord for breaking the lease with that particular business, and he opened up another one. I don't know much more than that. I can only assume that there was a string of people that he was putting the dealership's names in, and they were getting a piece of the pie. But again, that's neither here nor there. That's just something that someone that I know was doing. Guys, I hope you liked the video. I hope you subscribe, and I hope everything goes well for you. I hope you're in good health. I'm out of here. Later.
That's my best friend. That's my best friend.